Hey guys, it's me again. Today we're going to be talking about some important concepts from Egyptian religion. We're not going to be going into specific gods and everything for Egyptian religion, but what I want to do is focus what's the important concepts behind this religion so we can understand a little better, maybe compare and contrast it to what we've seen in Mesopotamia, as well as what we saw a little bit in Greece and Rome. Now, two important concepts, okay? Or a few important concepts. First, why this religion? Why did Egyptians, ancient Egyptians that is, develop this religion with so many gods and so many different myths about way things happen? And simply put, ancient early religions was an attempt to explain what we call natural phenomena. Natural phenomena is like lightning in the sky, thunder that we can explain today, but they had no means to explain back then. So what they did is this: they invented or created these different gods or goddesses to explain the natural phenomena, what was happening around them. Okay, now out of Egyptian religion, there's two important other concepts I want you to remember. The first is called Maat. Alright? Maat is an important concept. M-A-A-T. Okay? This is the world as it should be. When everything's in order. If everything's in order and everything's going around like it should be, this Maat concept's good. Okay? The Egyptian says, oh, our Maat's good. It's good because it's the way the gods intended it. Now, part of this concept of Maat is tied in with Egyptian politics, and part of there to be Maat is that they had to have the upper and lower kingdoms united. And we'll talk about the kingdoms later, but that went into this concept of Maat. And so Maat is everything is the way it should be, okay? And the Egyptians want to maintain this Maat order. Now, who was in charge of maintaining Maat? And this is where the Egyptian religion sort of differs from other religions we're studying. Who was in charge was the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh was in charge of keeping Maat in Egypt. Now, if things started to go bad, and then what happened was they'd say it was called Isfet. Isfet is disorder. Okay, so if they were having a bad day, crops didn't go well, a surprise flood or something, Isfet. In charge of this balance was the Pharaoh. Okay, in charge of the balance was the Pharaoh. He had to keep the order between the Maat and the Isfet. Okay, and so these are two important terms that you're going to need to be aware of. Is this balance between these two areas, or these two parts of the ancient religion. The second area or thing I want to talk about, and we've already discussed this a wee bit here today, but not in too much detail, are two important concepts, okay? One concept's called monotheism. Monotheism is when you only have one God, like Christianity. But the Egyptian religion was polytheistic. Polytheism means you have many gods. Polytheism, many gods. Alright, so if we're talking about a polytheistic religion, we're talking about a religion with many gods. We've seen this in Egypt, we've seen this in Rome, we've seen this in Athens or Greece, we've seen this in Mesopotamia. Okay, so remember polytheism, many gods. Monotheistic or monotheism, one God. Okay? One God. And so they're the two areas that we need to, two other important concepts we're going to be dealing with. Okie doke? And we're also going to talk briefly about the impact of the afterlife on Egyptian life. One thing about Egyptians, you could say that they placed so much emphasis on death rituals and death that it almost sometimes became as more important as life. And if you can take a look at, as a good example, this is the Egyptian pyramids. So we're going to talk about how all these two concepts sort of play in with the Egyptian concept of death and the afterlife. And we're going to take a look, and from there we're going to take a brief look at the pyramids. Okay, now I'm also going to be signing the Egyptian Pharaoh project today, so y'all be getting that handout and everything, and get ready to get started on that. Hope you guys had a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in roughly 2.5 hours. Take care.